I just want to take a moment and talk about the drone industry. This is kind of something I talked about with somebody the other day, and this is an engineer's perspective, structural engineering background, so aerospace is not my forte. Um, but because drones have been used so heavily within the civil environment, you become familiar with them. I won't call myself an expert. I'll let you decide. Nonetheless, naive perspective in three, two, one. So, drones. Drones for the longest time have been, for the most part, traditionally U.S. military. They are by far and away advanced, maybe the Israelis. Nonetheless, those are like the two superpowers when it came to drones for military purposes. Drones in the military are used for two things: gathering data through various sensors, visual, thermal, all the other ones, or dropping payloads, shooting missiles, dropping bombs, whatever the case might be. So bring it into the commercial world, speaking for the United States specifically. Here you have the FAA. FAA regulates aviation. Traditionally, it's been manned. Takes roughly 10 years to get an aircraft certified to fly human people. Here you have the drone industry. You have all these companies: 3DR, DJI, Unique, blah 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 blah, Uber, all these characters. And here you have Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley, ever since Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, has been looking for the next Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. People, VCs, have been throwing money at all sorts of ideas, and it seems the further we get into this economic prosperity, that the ROI or KPI of a company is raising money. I'm not saying that raising money is bad. I'm not gonna lie, if I've gone out and tried to raise money for Fly Robotics, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's good, but it seems that the KPI now is to raise money, raise funds. How much did you raise? How many funds did you raise? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You have a lot of these startups over here, startups over here, no, over here, sorry, startups over here that are making all these very cool concept videos, blah, 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 like this human taxis and all this stuff. And that's great. Everyone can make a 3D animation. I've done it for some of our stuff. They're very obvious. They're very sexy. And they get a lot of sex appeal and they draw a lot of attention. I get it. Flying people with taxis is could probably happen. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. It's a potential. However, yeah, over here, FAA regulates 10 years to get some 10 years to get an aircraft certified. Here you have Silicon Valley. They want returns on their VC investment very quickly. Um, and this is not like a Facebook app or an Instagram app. This is a flying thing with now putting human lives in it. If it gets fucked up, you kill people, and you're gonna have all sorts of bad press and all sorts of problems to go through. Like, if your Facebook app goes down, yeah, I know a lot of millennials might and snowflakes might freak out about it, and that's one thing. And it's not the big of a deal. You change some code, and you're bada bing, bada boom, you're fine. But over here, if you start having stuff flying and you start killing people, there's a whole another level to go through. And there's all this attraction and money just being thrown and thrown and thrown and thrown and thrown. I mean, there's companies that have blown through hundreds of $1,000,000 in venture capital and still haven't put out a quality drone product or were able to sell. It is kind of mind blowing, to say the least. And this is kind of the problem you have with the drone industry. So to recap, basic problems you have are FAA, manned aviation, 10 years to get something certified aerospace. Drones, very sexy, very attractive. Everyone like raising money over here like mad. VCs, everyone looking for the next Mark Zuckerberg, throwing money at anybody with a quote unquote idea, something to do with drones, AI, UTM, blockchain, all sorts of buzzwords, wanting a quick ROI. But remember, you have this very slow industry, this regulations over here, and you have all these crazy concept videos that will probably play out, but not fast enough for these guys to make money. And then somewhere in the middle of all this, you have the what will eventually happen to be the economic downfall of the United States, just because market's been on the climb for 9, 10 years ish. College debt is going to eventually fall apart, and my prediction is that, whether love him or hate him, Donald Trump is smart enough to help the economy because he's a businessman. He understands that kind of stuff. If you get someone in there, I don't care, Democrat, Republican, that's not the point. If you get someone in there that doesn't have the business savviness to prop something up or hold something up or know how to pull the levers to make things work, stuff could all fall apart. And you'll have a lot of these companies going out of business and a lot of VCs losing a lot of money, because while the theory might be right for the drones, they're too far in advance, and there's a lot of sex appeal and still a lot of things that need to be worked out. And that's just kind of the problem you have with the drone industry.